Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Isn't It Romantic Book Club. We're so excited you guys are here with us today. I am Jennie Marts. We have got such a fun guest for you guys today. If you don't know me, I write small town stories with humor and heart. I write a lot of steamy cowboys. I write some cozy mysteries. Here's a couple of my cozy mysteries. Bees and book clubs is what that's all about. I write hockey rom-coms. Oh my God, it's going to take me 45 minutes just to show all my books. And my newest book is Lost and Found Cowboy. Newest book just came out this last month. If you have not read this Lassiter Ranch series, you could get Save the Date for a Cowboy by signing up for my newsletter for free. So anyway, that's me. So excited for our guest today. And Sharon, tell us about you.
Hi guys, my name is Sharon Wray. I write sexy green berets and big thick books that have like Dan Brown type mysteries and then lots of really sexy shenanigans going on. I also write contemporary romance and Motorcycle Club romance, and those are really fun. And right now I have an anthology out called Just Add Love that is all the proceeds go to breast cancer research. So there's a link somewhere. I'll make sure it's in the chat. So
it's amazing.
Hi, everyone. My name is Diana Muñoz Stewart. I write romantic suspense for the strong of heart. My latest series, the Bad Legacy series, includes Broken Promises and Fatal Promises. And Hard Promises is out later this year. And if you'd like to know more about my work, visit dianamuñozstewart.com and, drop me a message.
Hi guys, I'm Abbie Roads. I write dark romantic thrillers. I tell people think like an episode of Criminal Minds meets a love story with a twist. I have a little stack of book. There's dangerous dreams and broken dreams and shattered dreams. Look at me going through them one by one. And defying evil and capturing fate. That's me. And just a little quick plug. I will be in TJ Logan's Commanders group doing a takeover as soon as I'm done here. So if you want to pop over there and see me there, I would love to see you and say hi. But today we are going to be talking to Lisa Regan about husband. Oh, wait, where the Claire? Okay, about husband missing. And, if you've known me at all, I'm a giant Lisa Regan fan and just devour everything that she writes. And this title literally scared me. I usually read her books the moment they come out, but this one I waited until right before our group because I was a little scared. Just the title scared me because I love Noah. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Lisa Regan if you don't know her. She is a USA Today and Wall Street Journal best-selling author of the Detective Josie Quinn series. She's a member of the Sisters in Crime International Thriller Writers and Mystery Writers of America. She has a bachelor's degree in English and a Master of Education degree from Bloomberg University. She lives near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the U.S. with her husband, daughter, and her Boston Terrier named Mr. Phillip. And I think everybody loves Mr. Phillip. So welcome, Lisa.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm so happy to be here. I love chatting with all of you. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we love your books too. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I just want to make a quick comment to anybody watching. Please, in the comments, do not leave any spoilers. This is a mystery. It's a fabulous book, and there's so many twists and turns, but we don't want to ruin it for those people who have not read it yet. So you can hint.
And we'll try to do the same. We'll try.
Spoilers.
Try. Yeah. It's funny because when we introduced your book last time at the end of our last live stream, Lisa, I was like, it's called Husband Missing. I was like, it's Noah. Noah's missing. And I think Sharon was like, what? Noah?
Husband missing. It never occurred to me that it would be. That'd be her husband. Her husband. Some random husband.
Yeah.
So Lisa, for our readers that have not read the book yet, tell us a little bit about Husband Missing.
Okay. So in Husband Missing is the 22nd book in the Detective Josie Quinn series. And in the basic premise of this book is that Josie comes home from a shift, as a detective, and her house is completely trashed. and her husband Noah is gone. And so I did not know this. When I was doing my research, I found this out that because Noah is also a law enforcement officer and he's on her team in her department, Denton PD, where they both work, cannot investigate his disappearance. That has to go to the state police. So not only is she, not allowed to investigate it, because it's her husband, or she can't even investigate it as a law enforcement officer. So his case goes to the state police, and that Josie can't let things go and she can't just sit around. So she ends up finding some things that are in her garage, this old box that she had from this woman that, most of her life she thought was her mother. And Lila Jensen, this is like not really a spoiler. And Lila, as I think Josie's sister called her, is like the bride of Satan. She's just the most evil person on the face of the earth. And Josie had come into possession of her kind of trophy box of all the people she messed over in her life. And Josie never really looked at the box. She took one look at it and she said, I'm putting Lila in the past, and that's that. And when Noah goes missing and she's looking through the house, someone has dumped the box open, and she remembers enough to know that there are some things missing from it. And so she can't, because she can't be involved in the investigation, she instead, just for anything to do, starts looking into Lila's past, hoping that something, from that box will lead her to someone who might be able to take her to Noah, or, help her locate Noah. And the state police are following completely different leads, but Josie is just convinced that, this might be connected to Lila. And even if it's not, she just cannot stay home.
Right, of course. I find it interesting that you can keep peeling away parts of this character and revealing something new. Now, do you feel like you know this character like the back of your hand, or is there still more to discover?
I know her, I would say, like the back of my hand, but I think that the way that she grows and changes, that still surprises me. And in this book, for all of the therapy that she's done and the work that she's done on herself to become a better person and to communicate better and to emote properly and process her trauma, when Noah goes missing, she's just shut down. She's kind of simultaneously shut down and also freaking out on the inside. And it was a little bit surprising to me, because she's done so much work to have kind of healthy coping skills. And then when when he goes missing, just all of that falls away. And even Trinity, her sister, keeps saying to her, hey, let's have a good cry. And Josie says, absolutely not. So that surprises me. I think she still surprises me in terms of how she reacts to things.
Well, and it seems like she's almost kind of a different character now. From the beginning, now she's a wife, and now she's a sister, as she's kind of progressed through the series, found her family, blah, blah, blah. Now she has a whole new role as a sister. Now she has a role as a different kind of daughter. Now she has a role as a wife. So it feels like you have a lot of opportunity for new growth and ways to keep her interesting, I guess I would think. Maybe, do you agree with that, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. And I think there's a lot of things with her that I haven't even scratched the surface of in terms of those relationships, which is fun, because those things are always waiting in the wings for me to tap into if I can, or if I want to.
Lisa, what about Lila? What I'm so fascinated by is how much we learned about this character, who we've also been hearing about for a long time, right? But I couldn't tell, because the craft part of me was like, well, did she already know this in book one and then hold it until this book? Or were you discovering things about Lila and her life all along? How much did you know and not disclose until this book, or how much of it was a surprise? I guess that's my question.
I was sitting on most of it since book 3.
Okay.
There,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Wow.
There were a few things that I didn't know, or there were a few things that I thought, oh, let me expand on this. You're going to meet this is not a spoiler. I will just say that you meet a character named Alec toward the middle end of the book. He himself was a surprise. The person connected to him was not, but I didn't see him, I didn't realize that he was going to be so cool and so kind of integral to that little subplot until he was on the page. But the rest of it, pretty much it's been there since book 3, and I was just waiting for a good spot in the series to tell it. It's just like a story that I always wanted to tell, and there was just not a good enough context for it.
So are you still holding things back? I have to know, are you still holding things back that you're going to slowly reveal?
I'm sure she is.
I think in terms of Lila, I have maybe one thing in the chamber, but in terms of Lila, that's mostly it. There are deleted scenes. I don't know if you saw those. I'll post them again on my Facebook page, but the book was so long. Lila, did a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
And so the book was so long, and I had cut so much of it. And I had these scenes that I really liked. And it's one of Lila's big secrets that just didn't have a place in the book, didn't really contribute to the plot. And so I thought, I think readers would still want to read these. And so I put them on Book Funnel. It's just a very small ebook. I think it's 3 chapters. And so if you want to know an extra secret of Lila's, you can go and download those chapters and check them out. But I would say for the most part, we're probably finished with Lila.
Oh, I doubt it.
Okay. So if you kind of been holding on to this, did this book just flow out of you like crazy?
Oh, you would think. No, it's very challenging. Very, very challenging. I kept getting to the 3/4 mark, and I knew where I needed to go, and I just couldn't get there. And it took multiple editorial meetings and calls, and my poor husband, talking me off of ledge after ledge after ledge, and saying, listen, you've done this 21 times before. You can do it. You'll figure it out. It was just really challenging. And I think especially because that backstory was, I've been sitting on this for a long time. It was really important to me. And it's also always really important to me that I get things right for readers. And when I say get things right, I want them to enjoy this. I want it to be what they expect it to be when they pick up one of my books. And so I felt very, very compelled to do absolutely the best job that I could do. And I think that I psyched myself out a little.
I love, there's something about when you write and it's I think I know what's going on, but then I don't know what's going on. And then I'm trying to make connections. And then all of a sudden, boy, there's a connection I never even saw, you know? And it's just because the way you connected Lila and 2 other people, I was like, what? Didn't even see that coming, and just wanted to also say, I feel like you did a really good job with Ro.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Look,
I would
she's
agree.
been living in my head for so many years. Yeah.
I feel like you did such a good job with showing her how she is.
Thank you.
Her life, the whole story with her. I just felt like that was a very powerful story.
Thank you. Ro. Yeah, it was very important to me. If you look at the through line of all of my books, is apparently I'm obsessed with mothering. And so she's always been a character that I've been fascinated with. She came to me in book 3, as I've said, and she's just been back there in the back of my mind saying, hey, I'm here whenever you want to unleash my story.
And I love that she seems so unredeemable.
Yes.
I just how do you come back from that? but you just did a really, really good job with her.
Thank you.
And
you just recently finished book 23, right? Am I right that you just had the deadline?
Yeah, I turned it in on Tuesday morning.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are you doing to celebrate?
I've just been kind of laying around all week and reading books because I won't read when I write first drafts. I'll only read books that I've already read because I get too into something new and I don't have a good enough self-discipline to put it down. So I just will keep reading until the end and then I lose hours of writing time. So I have been able to start reading stuff that I haven't read before this week, which is exciting.
That must mean a huge TBR.
Oh, it's massive. There's just stacks everywhere. Yeah.
Anything fun you read lately that you want to share?
I got an arc from Delia Pitts. It's the second book in the Vandy Myrick series. Let me see if I'll probably never be able to find it now, but that I'm going to read very soon. And also, I have to catch up on my Katie Metner books. I just got this in the mail, but I have a couple of other ones that I have to catch up on. So I'm really excited to get into those finally. They've just been sitting over there taunting me.
I love her books too. And it's like so many books in so little time.
No, yeah.
She's going to love that we mentioned her.
Mhm.
I love that Lisa talked about her. That's awesome.
Well, you showed, I think, her latest, Lisa. I've got, is it Dark Endings? That's like been on my
it's so good. I read a advanced copy of that. And I mean, I love Katie. I've been reading Katie for a long time. She's really one of my best friends, fabulous human being. But that book so far is my favorite.
Really?
Yes. So good.
I gotta make time.
What is it? Which one is it? Dark Endings?
Dark Endings.
Okay.
I have it on my Kindle, but I just haven't read it yet. Maybe I'll read it this weekend.
Yeah.
Lisa, is there going to be a book 24?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and guys, 24 is going to be Turner's story.
Oh, what?
All my Turner haters out there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's going to be fun.
I don't feel like you redeemed Turner completely in this one, but I like him better after this one.
Yeah. He's begrudgingly doing nice things.
He's like he just grows on you a little bit each time,
like a fungus. Like
Like a fungus.
So is that how you feel about him? Do you feel like he's growing on you, or do you already know his arc? I mean,
I'm sure she knows. I'm sure.
I have loved him from day one. He's like, only a mother could love him, I guess. So.
Have we
That's
met
fun.
the person he's going to be romantically attached to yet?
No, I have not made any decisions about that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I would love to hear thoughts though, because I've heard a couple, as the kids say now, ship suggestions. And,
Who's the ship suggestions?
A couple people said Gretchen, and then other people said Misty.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I had one person say Amber, but I don't know. I have to think about that.
I don't. I like me. I'm in the Misty department.
Team Misty.
Yes, I'm Team Misty.
So what would their ship name be? Miss Turner?
Oh goodness. So how many books, Lisa, are in the series? Is it 30?
I'm slated to write 35.
35. Oh my gosh.
As long as the reader interest is, stays strong.
Okay.
And is this the only series you do, or do you do some fun stuff on your own on the side, or this is your life?
This is my life. I mean, not because, I have plenty of ideas. Clearly, I write all these books constantly, but I just don't have time. And I love Josie. It always feels like cheating if I try to work on anything else. Like I'll get an
yeah.
idea and start jotting things down. I was like, oh, I'll save this for later. But even that feels very much like cheating.
And
We
she's
call
such an
those slutty
authentic
new ideas.
character.
What's that?
I said we call those slutty new ideas.
Yes, yes. I know. They're like beckoning you. Like, oh, I'm so sexy over here. Come and, write me. And I'm like, I can't.
So if anybody is watching this who does not know Josie, what would you tell them about Josie?
I would say that Josie in book 1 starts out very differently than Josie, the Josie that you will meet, in book 5 and book 10 and book 20. So
she's very messy. She's very
messy. She's a mess. She's a hot mess. In book 1, so she's this detective in a small city in central Pennsylvania. She is very stubborn. When you first meet her, she's very abrasive. Doesn't have a good handle on her anger. She has a little bit of a drinking problem. And, her relationships are not great, probably because she's got so many issues that she hasn't worked through yet. And, but the thing that is her redeeming quality is that she believes that so strongly in justice that she will do the right thing, which she believes the right thing is, even at the cost of her career or her life. And she can't walk away. She can't let things, be pushed under the carpet because she's just not built that way. She just cannot turn away and let something bad happen and just ignore it. So that's her redeeming quality. And also that she's just so stubborn. She will just never give up. It doesn't matter what happens to her. She's just not going to give up. And then through each book, each investigation, each case that she works changes her as a person and as an investigator. So if you read the first book and you're like, I don't really like this lady, I would say maybe give it a try, another book or two, because she grows with every book and she realizes that she has a lot of problems and she is striving to become a better person. And that's a lot of fun to write. And I've had a lot of readers tell me that they really enjoy that aspect of her.
I think I fell in love with her because she was so messy.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, because she was
Relatable.
so imperfect. She's like mostly an alcoholic, but like again, that like sense of right, and justice, and like you said, just putting her own life in danger, her career in danger for what's right. And I think that's why I fell in love with her, because I like that messy, and then you love this version of Josie too, where she's, working to get herself, figured out. And she's a different person in this book versus the first one, but still you just love her. It's like watching a kid grow up or something, and
she still doesn't always get it right. She still struggles. She doesn't always say the right thing or do the right thing, but she's a lot more self-aware now.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite lines, and I'm going to probably butcher it, but it was something to the effect of, it's hard to go against your programming. So like as much as she's learned, as much as she's, become self-aware, there is still those things that they creep up. And I was just like, oh man, I hear you.
It's so true that it's those childhood triggers, or, the triggers that takes her back to traumatic events. And the line I think was something like, like no matter how much work she had done, dead inside was still a default setting. Mm-hmm. And it was hard it's hard to change those default settings.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and speaking as a therapist, just because this is why I connect with Josie, because I think you've got a lot of this just stuff right in this book. But like, I feel like when people can have their skills and use them and all the things that they've learned in therapy, but when high stress hits, you do default right back to the old bad patterns, Mm-hmm. And it's when not stress is there, you can do all this stuff. But when stress is there, you do default. You really naturally do. So.
But the difference is in this book, when she wouldn't have realized that in the first book.
No, not at all.
And she didn't default to drinking, which I thought, my gosh, if there was any chance that she was going to fall off the wagon, it would be this one. But she didn't. So that's good. That's good.
Lisa, do you have a favorite? Oh, I'm sorry, Diana. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I wanted to ask you about this. Did you learn anything new? Because, I mean, you know a lot about crime scenes and investigations, but you had mentioned in the beginning that, you had learned, that she could not investigate the case. So did you learn anything else new about crime scenes, investigations, blood spatter, sorry.
Not so much with this book. Nothing super fascinating, except that it's just really interesting to me. I kept having to go back to my law enforcement consultants about the scene being her home, and then, when can she get back in? And then if she finds something else, then how does that work? Because you've already processed the scene. And that was really very, very tricky for me it just was weird. And then I wanted her, so there's another case. This is not a spoiler. There's a murder at the beginning of the book, and she's investigating it before Noah goes missing. And she is, she's the lead on that case. And I'm thinking, like, she could still be working that case. In fact, I talked to one of my consultants and I said, with her husband missing, would she still be working, or would they take her off the job? And my consultant said, well, there's no reason for her not to work. It could go either way. She could keep working, or,
right.
Her superior could say, no, I want you to stay home. And she couldn't, once that case that she was working was connected to Noah's abduction, obviously she could not touch it. She could not work it at all. But what was interesting to me is that she was also technically a victim of the crime in the house, because they stole things, and she is one of the homeowners, and it was a burglary. And so I was just thinking, well, Noah's the victim, but no, technically she's also the victim who would be able to press charges against the burglars. And that also kind of took her out of being able to do anything or know anything. And the other thing I learned was the state police, in a case where they're investigating a fellow law enforcement officer, the lead detective is not, it's not at their discretion what to disclose to the family. It's actually their supervisor. Whereas evidently on normal cases, it is the lead detective who has discretion as to what they tell family members. So it was just like these little ins and outs of, law enforcement and having to investigate one of their, a case involving one of their own, and how those things work. Those are the main things that I learned and was trying to get right.
Do you think they're different with each state too, or is that like a state?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure it is, because that's what I've been told. Every state is different. So I don't know what it would be in Ohio or California, but here, that's how they would handle it.
Now, I was thinking so much about that with going into the house after and when she could be let in. And I'm such a controlling person, and I'm so observant and worry about my stuff all the time that it would bother me that other people were touching my stuff to try to like clean it up. And then I was like, well, what if she misses a clue? Like, what if her sister is in this other room and she's cleaning something up and there's a clue that she's missing? Like, nobody should be cleaning anything up, but yet you have to restore order. And then there was something about the driveway and something in the driveway. And I was like, oh, but they said they were already going out to clean the driveway. Like, are we missing the driveway? Like, that was just making my OCD go crazy. Like, somebody could be in the other room touching something that they shouldn't. Like, that was
but I asked my consultant, because there's so much stuff in the house that's been disturbed. Everything they own has been thrown on the floor and trampled over. I said to him, do you guys have to process literally everything? And he said, no, I mean, that would kind of be impossible. They just have to choose what they think is most relevant and then process those things.
You know, I got a kick out of, is it Patrick and Christian were in the kitchen trying to put it together, and like in an hour, all they got was the silverware drawer done. And I'm like, that is so true of men doing this. That's so true.
Unless it was my husband who would have had the whole house done in 15 minutes.
Yeah, my
Wow.
husband would have done it quickly. He would have just thrown everything away. And
No.
I would be like, no, let me look at that. Let me look at that. Let me check that.
Well, what I love is that in spite of all these rules, she just goes off and does her own thing anyway.
Yeah. She had to just, everything was like splitting hairs. She has to be technically not doing anything wrong, but still able to use these little loopholes to get where she needs to be.
And I loved in this book how much time she spent with her sister. I did love that.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
I liked that too.
And I think her sister got her into a little bit of like her sister kept her on that wire, right? But
Yeah.
I think her sister pushing her to safety, but also pushing her over to the other side.
And Noah's sister, who was so horrible to her, but I got such a kick out of Shannon going after her.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a bit of a surprise. And I was writing that scene, and then she just flew over the table, and I was like, "Wow, this is fun."
So Lisa, how much do you know about bow hunting?
Oh, my
yeah.
husband was my main.
Oh, okay.
consultant. He's been a bow hunter. He knows all the things about.
Oh, that made it easy.
Oh yes, but poor him, because I work in the evenings, and so I literally would be, like at 2:00 in the morning. Hey, are you up? Are you up? Because I need to know what's the difference between, these two types of arrowheads, and what's a cam and what's a knock. And
So when you started writing this book, did you already know who the ultimate villain was? Or was that a surprise? Because it was a surprise to me.
It switched, I would say, about halfway through. The person that you think it is, I would say, if you read the book, you know who I'm talking about. The person that you think it is was supposed to be the ultimate villain. And it was when they're inspecting Gina Phelan's body in the beginning of the book, and Josie feels something on her fingers. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to say she feels something on her fingers. And I thought, and I had to talk to my husband about, gloves and finger tabs, and, is that possible? And, for somebody to have those in this day and age when there's so much equipment. And so we kind of worked out the scenario together of how that would be possible, and what would that character need to do to have this thing on her fingers. And after I'd written that, I thought, it would be more interesting, I think, to change that gave me the idea to change the ultimate villain. And I thought it would just be more interesting.
Well, it worked. I mean, it worked beautifully. That's why I was just wondering if you had already planted that, you knew that, or if that was just one of those magical moments in writing that you're like,
Magical moment. Yeah.
Did not see that coming at all.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, now Lisa, you just said that you're writing at 2:00 in the morning. Is that your normal thing? Do you normally write late in the night like that?
I mean, try not to. It's usually that's like the week before the deadline is that's when I'm up that late. But sometimes if I'm really rolling, then I'll just keep going. Because what happens is if I'm really rolling and I'm really into it, and I look at the clock and I say, "Oh, it's midnight. I should go to bed." And I go to bed and I'm like this, for like 3 hours, because I'm energized. So I try to just go with it until I get tired while writing.
Wow.
So you had a lot of, you have a lot in your books of, it's a crime procedural and you're very exact with the details. So do you ever have anyone reach out to you and say, "Oh, you got this wrong"? Or is it like the same with historical? I mean, people are just like so into the details in historical. Do you find that people are the same way?
Oh,
Readers?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm on a pretty good streak though.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because I've said this before. I have a law enforcement consultant that in the first draft, I'm contacting him all the time and saying, I need this to happen. What would that look like? And then he tells me and I write it. And then my other law enforcement consultant reads the book when it's finished and tells me what's wrong, what's right, what doesn't work, how it would look if, how it would really look if I wanted it to be authentic. And she's fabulous. She'll hop on a Zoom call with me in 5 minutes. And there was something in this book toward the end that I couldn't figure out how to do it. And we hopped on a call together and we were talking for maybe 45 minutes and she helped me figure it out because I wanted the procedure to be correct. And, like I said, Josie being kind of limited in what she can do was really tricky. So she really helped me with that. And then, if I'm researching something, I really try to talk to people who've actually done the thing, like my husband. I mean, there was one night after dinner, I said, okay, sit down at the table. And I got my little notebook out and I was like writing down everything that he said. And so I was pretty certain that I got that right. And I just always try to talk to someone with lived experience because that's kind of the best way to get things right. Like I'll read journals and articles and I'll watch videos and read textbooks and that's very useful, but there's just small details that you find out from people who have actually done the things you're writing about that you're not going to get any other way. So I've been like having pretty good luck. So last few books.
Lisa, how much did you have to cut out of this book from the first draft you submitted?
I cut about 60,000 words.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's like a whole nother book.
yeah.
Another book.
Yeah, not because some of it just didn't make it in because the book was very long or it just didn't contribute to the plot.
Right.
But a lot of it, I was just rewriting, I would write it to like I said, the 3/4 mark. And then it would be a thing where I couldn't get from A to B. So I'd have to
Like
cut
you're in a
all.
labyrinth.
Yeah, exactly. So I would cut all that and start again. Yeah. So my cuts file was massive.
So when are you starting the next book? When do you give yourself a week off, 2 weeks off?
Well, I just turned in 23 this week and I'll get
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So I get the structurals back Monday, I think. And then I'll do those because I suspect it'll need a little bit of rearranging. And then it's up to me at that point how soon I want to start Turner's book. If I want to start it right away, or if I want to, take a couple of weeks while 23 is going through, line edits and copy edits and all that and just relax my brain.
Right.
How long does it take you normally to write a book?
From the outline to the first draft is probably 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah. The research takes a ton of time. So that really is always a sticky thing. And I'll just be in the middle of writing and I'm going and going. And I get to a spot where I realize I don't know how this should go. And then I have to stop because what happens is if I get it wrong, then everything that follows is probably going to be wrong or need to be revised or changed. And sometimes even to the point where the whole plot has to change. And I don't feel like going through that. I'd rather just get it right the first time.
Totally
So
get
do
it.
you
No, I
typically
totally
write 2 books
understand
a
that.
year or 3?
I typically do 3. This year will be 2 because I needed a few extensions on 22. And then I needed a break to rest my brain. And so it just took a little bit longer. And so I didn't end up doing that. I won't be doing the 3rd book, I don't think. Or basically, I think 2 will come out this year, but I might end up writing 3, but only 2 will be released.
So are you planning on doing any like conventions or book tours or anything like that this year?
Not Not currently. If just because it's time-wise, it's difficult to be a mother and a wife and have a family and regular life and also be writing 3 books a year. And so
Yeah.
I just haven't gotten around to scheduling anything or looking at anything yet. Although I'm not averse to doing events, but in terms of conferences and things like that, I haven't booked anything.
Well, it all takes time, right? It takes time to plan it, and then the actual doing of the thing. And then you're exhausted when you come home.
Yeah.
A couple days on the other end, right? So it's a lot.
And I think a lot of us writers aren't, except for Jennie. We're not that social, but Jennie is super social. She loves all of that stuff. And the rest of us are just like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very quiet. I mean, this interview notwithstanding, I'm content to kind of listen to everyone else and watch what's going on. And I always have that problem where I don't know how to keep carrying on the conversation. Thinking to myself, oh, what can I ask? And I bring my husband with me everywhere because he is fantastic at talking to people. And I say, well, I'll bring you and you'll make people comfortable.
I have that opposite problem, Lisa. My problem is I don't always know when to stop talking. And my husband will be ready to go, and my husband will be at the door, and people will be like, what are you waiting for? He's like, well, it takes her 15 minutes from the time we say we're leaving to actually make it out the door of the party. He says, I got to go wait at the door so she knows. Start the 15-minute countdown of saying goodbye to every person in this room.
And Maureen says, you are quiet. I'm the loud one.
Maureen saves me as well because I'm like, oh, you're good at this socializing. So I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
So Judy Taylor wants to know, how do your characters decide where to go in your books?
Where to go physically?
I guess. I don't know. Where to go, I think the whole story, and I think you have that plotted out. So
yeah, it just always depends on what will move the plot forward most efficiently. So I will put them wherever they need to be in order to keep things going so there's not a lot of lag time.
In this book, what I liked about this book was that you actually had a lot more people in one room together than you normally do. Normally you don't have the big communal scenes.
Right. And that's very challenging.
They're hard to write right now. You know what I mean? Where the reader really understands where everybody is physically.
Yes. Yes. And then it's like, oh, this one hasn't spoken for a while. What are they doing?
Is he eating? Is he?
Ella wants to know, will book 23 be emotionally damaging as book 22? Good question.
No, you will all have a wonderful break with 23.
Okay.
It's just a regular case. No one that you love will be in terrible jeopardy.
Oh, that's good to know. And Judy has clarified. She wants to know, yes, do you do the plot or do the characters? I see.
Kind of lead you, yeah.
Mostly I'm doing the plot, but occasionally I'll just be writing and the characters kind of have a life of their own, and sometimes they decide to do something different and it's a lot more interesting. So I'm like, okay, we'll just go with that.
Lisa, how closely do you stick to your outlines that you write in the beginning? Pretty closely, or kind of like halfway through you ditch the outline?
About between 30 and 50%, the outline becomes troublesome and obsolete because I've changed so many things. And but I'll stop usually and go back into the outline and cut what's supposed to come that doesn't work, and then I'll just start again from that point to try and get everything straight in my head as to where I'm going. Because I don't like to, you guys know, you don't like to write 20,000 words and realize there was a much better way to write this book and then have to go back and start over. So I try to do the outline mid-book. I will change it and outline the new direction.
Okay.
You know, I've been wondering, and I probably shouldn't ask, but have you been very close to crime scenes? Because it seems like you've got them nailed down.
Really violent.
Well, if she lives in Denton, there's like a crime wave in Denton. Like
Yeah.
that's
Crime rate is astronomical. Yeah. No, I just have really good consultants. I've been really lucky to have super awesome experts who have been willing to talk to me. And I did go to, it was called MurderCon in 2019. Lee Laughlin runs Writers Police Academy. I don't know if they're doing it this year, but they had been doing conferences for, I want to say 15 or 16 years. And that particular year, we were in North Carolina at Searchy, which is a company that designs, manufactures, and sells crime scene equipment. And we basically just had classes from morning until night. And every, hour or so, you would be with a different expert. So we did, and they had,
Cool.
things set up. They had mock scenes. We had to dig up a body.
Oh my gosh.
Not a real body, but we did blood. There was a blood spatter room. We did fingerprints with the kits. We did pulling latent boot prints, that kind of thing, which I've also done at home. God bless my husband. Wow. So I've just been really lucky to have people have gone to that sort of thing. And then I will often ask Lee if he knows somebody, do you know somebody who does blood spatter or latent prints or whatever it is I really need to dig into. And these experts they're so gracious and so willing to give you their time and discuss things with you. I think because they're so passionate about what they do. And, with me, like, I'm excited to hear what you have to say. You could talk for hours. I want to hear it. Yeah. So I've just been really lucky that they'll take the time to talk to me so I can get things right.
Yeah, I've been to Writers Police Academy too, and I highly endorse it. You learn so much and meet so many interesting people there. It was really, really cool.
Sorry,
I have to know though, what did you dig up if you weren't digging up a real body? What were you digging up?
It was like one of those plastic skeletons they have in like biology classes in high school, and they put like certain genes on it. Yeah,
that is so fun.
I did earlier this year. I did a tour of the morgue with my writer, and it was interesting and creepy. But the medical examiner, he really did a great, he did a whole presentation for us on crime scenes, and it was really interesting.
So cool.
That's really interesting.
The year I went to Writers Police Academy, I had a class with a medical examiner, and she was showing us all these crime scene photos, and she was like, hey, if you feel like you're going to pass out or something, just step out of the rooms. No big deal. Just take a few breaths, I was totally fine, totally fine, but she was showing us all these pictures with maggots, which are gross. You know what I mean? Nice. So it was okay. I was totally fine. And then we had lunch right after. And so I get out, I go to lunch, and it was like a buffet, and I get up to this giant bowl full of rice salad.
Oh no.
They should have rethought that, because that was so gross. After all those pictures. So
I wonder
I think that would be fun though.
Do they still do their conferences? Writer Police Academy?
I haven't gotten anything this year.
I haven't gotten anything either.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do that.
I'd love to go.
Yeah, I would love to go too. That would be really, really fun.
It's very experiential. The year I went, they were doing car chases and car crashes. And it was you got to see the pit maneuver and all the fun stuff in real life. It was really neat. So
that is neat. So we're coming to the end of our time, and I just wanted to ask you, do you know the title of book 23?
I
Is it-
do, but I am not allowed to reveal it yet.
Ah.
Aw, missed out. Okay. All right. Well, we're looking forward to that. The Dead Husband was a really good grab you by your heartstrings title.
Husband missing.
Husband missing.
Husband missing. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Don't scare everyone.
Because I have been telling myself this whole time, remember, okay, I'm just going to be quiet. All right.
The one thing, there is a massive like cliffhanger at the end that is so like I was literally reading it, got to the end, was like, and I literally said, "What?" out loud. Like, so can't wait for the next one to see what
Oh my gosh.
Glad I didn't do that.
And readers are gonna love it. You guys are gonna love it if you haven't read it yet. So Lisa, thank you so much for
Thank you
being
so
here. We always
much.
have so much fun
Thank
with
you
you.
for
The
having
last
me.
We
hour has
appreciate
gone
it,
by
Lisa.
so
Thank
fast.
you.
Oh, I
It
know.
goes by
love
so
talking
quickly.
to you guys. It
It's great
does.
seeing you. It was wonderful reading your book. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
All right. So we are moving on to May.
Oh my gosh, the year's gone by so fast.
I know. It's crazy. So who were you
I
going to announce the book, Sharon?
I don't have a cover. I don't have a cover.
do. We're going to be reading Lori Foster's
Of course, Abbie
Let
has
Me
it.
Be the One. I got it. That clear. Where
All
is it?
right.
Here we go.
Yay.
Let me be the one, Lori Foster. We love having her in the group, just like we love having Lisa, and we're looking forward to that at the end of May. So we'll see you all then.
I think it's the first
Everyone.
book in the new series. So
Oh, that's exciting.